I felt she should have got more.
On what was supposed to be the first day of trial, 31-year-old Taylor Wardlaw changed her mind, and after being led into the courtroom in shackles, she pleaded guilty to killing her boyfriend, 26-year-old Terrell Sims. Rose Sims is his sister.
I wish she would have got life, to tell you the truth, about what she did.
The judge sentenced Wardlaw to 20 years in prison, but in Rose's eyes, it's not enough for what her family has been put through, or that Torrell's kids will grow up without a father.
They still be asking where their daddy is, and it's kind of hard to sit down and explain to them, your daddy's gone. You could tell them that all you want, but for a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, they're not going to understand.
On December 22nd of 2021, Wardlaw reported her boyfriend missing to the police. His body was found in a bag near a creek off of Monticello Road.
My brother was trying to leave her. He didn't want to be with her anymore, and she just couldn't accept it.
Wardlaw was able to avoid the trial by taking a plea and pleading guilty to first-degree murder and possession of a firearm during a violent crime.
I felt like all the evidence that they had and everything they did, everything they said that she did, 20 years is not enough.
On December 22nd, 2021, a young mother picked up the phone and called 911. Her voice trembled with panic as she reported her boyfriend missing. She sounded desperate, frantic. In the days that followed, she helped organize search parties, posted heartfelt tributes online, and cried alongside family members as they begged the public for answers. But beneath every tearful plea, she was hiding a chilling secret, because Taylor Wardlaw already knew where Terrell Sims was. His body had been dumped near a quiet creek, for bullets buried in his flesh, and the truth buried with him. This wasn't just a tragic disappearance. It was a calculated cover-up. Because Taylor wasn't mourning, she was pretending. She was hiding something she hoped no one would ever uncover. What could push someone to kill the father of their child, then turn around and help search for his body like nothing happened? This is the disturbing, true story of obsession, betrayal, and a woman who wanted control. Terrell Sims was 26 years old, a proud father of 4. He was known by those close to him as someone who smiled often, laughed loud, and loved his kids more than anything. He wasn't perfect, he had made mistakes, but through all of life's chaos, he remained present. He was trying to be a better father, a better man, and build a future for his children. But behind the birthday parties, the father-daughter dances, and the cheerful photos was a darker story, one not captured in family albums, but documented through text messages, surveillance footage, and a long trail of red flags. At the center of that story was his girlfriend, Taylor Wardlaw. They met in 2018. Things moved fast, passionate, intense. Within a short time, they were living together and deeply involved. But friends and family would later describe the relationship as toxic. Taylor didn't just love Terrell, she wanted to own him. She tracked his phone, read his messages, and monitored his every move. If he went out, she needed to know where. If he didn't answer right away, she assumed the worst. It wasn't love, it was control, possession. And Terrell, caught in the middle, was slowly losing pieces of his independence. By 2020, the relationship had deteriorated into what authorities would later describe as volatile. That year, while 9 months pregnant, Taylor contacted law enforcement and accused Terrell of pulling a gun on her, pressing it to her stomach and threatening to kill her. Terrell was arrested on domestic violence charges and ultimately missed the birth of their child. It was a dark and painful chapter for everyone involved. But the shock came a year later, when Taylor posted his bond and brought him back into her home, despite a strict no-contact court order. At the time, Terrell was wearing a GPS ankle monitor to track his movements. But even with the legal restrictions in place, Taylor chose to reunite with him. Some said it was love. Others believed it was another form of control. Either way, it signaled that their turbulent relationship was far from over. Terrell had made mistakes, he didn't deny that. But by 2021, he was trying to turn things around. He spoke often about getting his life back on track, especially for his kids. He had 1 child with Taylor and 3 from previous relationships. Those close to him described him as someone genuinely seeking redemption. His twin sister later shared that Terrell was quietly working to break free from the toxic cycles that had followed him, and that meant distancing himself from Taylor Wardlaw. But Taylor wasn't letting go. In the days leading up to December 20th, 2021, tensions inside their home reached a breaking point. Taylor grew suspicious, convinced Terrell was cheating, though no one close to him confirmed this. Her paranoia escalated. On the night of December 19th and into the early morning hours of December 20th, phone records revealed a series of repeated calls from Taylor to Terrell. Call after call, message after message. A digital trail that looked less like concern and more like obsession. Then, around 3:30 a.m., everything stopped. Terrell's phone went silent. No more calls. No more texts. No more activity. That moment would later be marked as the approximate time of death. Shortly after, the cover-up began. Between 4:30 and 8:30 a.m., surveillance footage captured Taylor and another man, Eddie Youngsta Brown, together in a rental car. Cameras placed them traveling through Colombia, heading in the direction of Monticello Road. They weren't alone. Investigators believed Terrell Sims' lifeless body was in the trunk. Later that day, the monitoring company overseeing Terrell's ankle bracelet reached out to his family. The device had stopped transmitting. Its last known location was near a wooded area off Monticello Road, right by a secluded creek. At the time, it seemed like a technical glitch, but it wasn't. It was the first crack in the story Taylor was trying to maintain. According to a witness who later came forward, Taylor had shown up at her home late one night, distressed and in the company of Eddie Brown. Behind closed doors, in hushed tones, Taylor confessed what had happened. She said she and Terrell had argued after he came home late. She accused him of cheating. She claimed he hit her. And in response, she told the friend she grabbed a gun and shot him. 4 times. The autopsy would later confirm Terrell had been shot 4 times, one bullet striking him in the back. The location and direction of the wounds, combined with the absence of defensive injuries, raised doubts about Taylor's claim of self-defense. Investigators described it as a targeted, calculated killing and execution carried out in anger, not fear. Instead of calling police or paramedics, Taylor called Eddie. The two allegedly wrapped Terrell's body, removed his GPS monitor, and placed him in the car. As they drove toward the dumping site, they tossed the ankle monitor out the window. At the creek, they dragged his body down a short embankment and left it partially submerged in shallow water, hidden beneath brush and winter debris. 2 days later, Taylor picked up the phone and called 911. She told the dispatcher that Terrell had left their home on December 20th and never returned. She claimed he had taken his phone and simply vanished. From that moment on, Taylor began playing the role of the grieving partner. She posted emotional tributes on Facebook. She begged the public for help. She even helped organize search efforts. But something about her behavior didn't sit right with detectives. Her timeline was vague, inconsistent. Her story about when Terrell left, what he was wearing, and what they last talked about shifted from one conversation to the next. Her emotional reactions also seemed rehearsed, at times too calm, at other times overly theatrical. Then came the hard evidence. Cell phone data placed Taylor and Eddie near Monticello Creek during the exact time Terrell's ankle monitor stopped working. Surveillance footage confirmed they were traveling together. That same day, Taylor visited a local pawn shop and sold Terrell's custom gold grill, an item he was rarely seen without. Security footage showed her calmly making the transaction. Crime scene investigators searched the rental car. Inside, they found a bullet hole in the hood, aligned with the trajectory of one of the gunshots Terrell had suffered. In the trunk, they discovered blood, confirmed to be his. Forensic teams also uncovered traces of blood in the home Taylor and Terrell shared. It hadn't been completely cleaned, but someone had tried. On January 5, 2022, after narrowing their search grid, investigators discovered Terrell Sims' body in the creek near Monticello Road. Just as they feared for gunshot wounds. No signs of struggle, no defensive wounds. What began as a missing person case had now become a murder investigation, and all evidence pointed back to the one person who claimed to love him most.
This one's for couples. 13 embarrassing questions. Who overthinks everything? Who showers less? Who is always eating? Who has a nicer butt? Who is more possessive? Who drools more? Who is a better driver? Who curses more? Who always sleeps in? Who is always on their phone? Who has the worst singing voice? Who takes the most selfies?
Bop it, twist it, pull it, twist it, bop it, twist it. Wow, 100! You beat Bop It!
I can fuck with a million other bitches, but bitch, I won't show! What the fuck?
Taylor Wardlaw was arrested and charged with murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Eddie Brown was also arrested and charged as an accessory after the fact. He later admitted to helping dispose of the body and the ankle monitor, though he denied being involved in the shooting itself. A key moment came when the woman who had spoken with Taylor earlier gave a formal statement to police. She said Taylor confessed directly. "I did it. I killed Terrell." Her motive? She believed he was cheating. She accused him of betrayal, and in the heat of that argument, she pulled the trigger. Cell phone records confirmed Taylor had been calling and texting Terrell incessantly in the hours leading up to his death. The tone of those messages, according to investigators, revealed an emotional spiral. Jealousy, rage, control. She had been tracking his movements, violating the no-contact order, keeping him close even after the courts told her not to. When the case headed to trial, the evidence was overwhelming. Her confession, the surveillance footage, the pawn shop sale, the cell data, the blood in her home and car. Prosecutors had everything they needed to pursue a murder conviction. But in a surprise twist, Taylor Wardlaw accepted a plea deal. On March 24, 2024, she pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter. In exchange, the murder charge and firearm charge were dropped. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison, with eligibility for release in 2038, after serving at least 85% of her sentence. For Terrell Sims' family, the outcome was devastating. His twin sister, Marcella Jacobs, stood outside the courthouse and spoke plainly. 20 years ain't enough for me, but I guess it's a start. To them, nothing short of a full murder conviction would have been justice. They had lost a son, a brother, and a father to 4 children, and nothing could bring him back. The most painful part wasn't just the killing, it was the betrayal. Taylor had sat beside them, held their hands, cried with them, all while knowing exactly what she had done. In January 2025, the case was featured on Oxygen's true crime series Snapped. Season 35, Episode 2 revealed exclusive interviews with prosecutors, detectives, and Terrell's family. The story gained national attention and sparked conversation about digital abuse, controlling partners, and the hidden dangers of obsession. Media outlets like Yahoo, Sportskeeda, and Soap Central called the case a textbook example of emotional manipulation and domestic violence turned fatal. Today, the Sims family continues to honor Terrell's memory, not just through words, but through action, by speaking out about toxic relationships and advocating for awareness. For them, it's about helping others spot the red flags before it's too late. Do you think justice was served? Or was 20 years not enough for what Taylor did? Let us know in the comments. Like this video to support real stories that deserve to be heard. Subscribe to Sinister Tales for more true crime documentaries, where justice is questioned and the truth is never sugar-coated. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story.